got friends on Facebook. And I'll tell you what, I kind of wanted to talk today about some of the things that everybody seems to be experiencing in their lives along with this pandemic.
Attention all football fans. If you can't see your team play, come and dine with us and watch it live at Boardman, Canfield, or Cortland. Or staying at home, we'll deliver right to your door. That's Coca's Pizza. We serve it hot.
Amazing stuff. So, Melanie, again, thank you for coming to the show.
I'm happy to be here.
And I think everybody's looking forward to this. October just kind of radiates ghosts, if you know what I mean.
I do.
All kinds. Not just ones that say boo, but I guess maybe we could open up with what we found at my barn with the horses. And I'll back the story up. I had called Melanie out and I said, Melanie, you're going to think I'm crazy, but in my barn, the horses are constantly looking to one corner of our barn. And every time they would walk out, we'd have to pull their heads because they would keep looking that way. Not only that, we heard people talking and people laughing. My girlfriend Jerry, with her horse, which she would walk the horse out to the pasture, she would look up at the barn window and we would see a little old lady standing up there. We knew she was there. We felt her. We said, not so much physically, but we can feel the presence of her there. There was also a little girl that was there as well. And we could hear her giggling. We knew what favorite stall she had when she was a little girl, and we did the research on it. She had a pony out there. So she never left our barn. And we believe that the older lady was either her grandmother or her mother. And when you brought your research team out there, you felt some of the things going on there as well.
We did. We absolutely did. I mean, being that I've been doing this for so long, I come accustomed to feeling things, and you can feel them. We did, in fact, see shadow play. I mean, with the doors there, because when you have light coming through the doors and something comes by, blocks it off, you have something there. And with all the cameras that we had, there was nothing physical there. So, yeah, we did find that going on there.
Now, you had your handheld EVP, is that what it's called? Am I right?
EVP is electronic voice phenomenon. That's a recorder.
Okay.
What I carry with me would be like a Mel meter or a K2 meter. These are meters that measure electromagnetic field.
Okay.
And within that electromagnetic field, when we get spikes in an area that nothing was going on, that's when we're usually tuned into something happening.
Now, I have to say, when we were holding the one handheld and Jerry and I would talk to this device or talk to them, this device was going in the red. I mean, it was, you could tell there was somebody there. And she would look at me and I would look at her and we would go, oh my God, something's out there, something's out.
Yeah.
But we weren't afraid of it. It wasn't one of those entities that you become afraid of.
You know, it's rare to come across something that's really fearful. I've been doing this for a long time and haven't come across anything that has really scared me.
So how did you get involved in this? How did you know that this is what, I mean, everybody's interested in ghosts, especially this time of year, but this is your passion.
Oh, it is. I mean, as a child, I had things happening to me that I couldn't understand, and it scared me. Then around 2008, a former friend of mine invited me to go out to Hotel Conneaut with her.
Okay.
And we would spend a lot of time out there. I mean, we spent a lot of time out there, weekends. And this was in the off season when nobody else was there. And we got to talking to the ghosts. We got to hanging out in the hallways and taking video. We learned from a lot of investigators that would come up and investigate. So, yeah, that's where I got my start officially. And then in 2013, we actually put together our own team and went from there.
Hotel Conneaut. I had booked a acoustic act to go up there, and they were on break.
In the ballroom.
In the ballroom.
Okay.
And they were outside smoking a cigarette, and they looked up, and they see all these flashings going on in the ballroom. They walk in, and they said to the bartender, hey, what's going on upstairs? There's nobody. We're all down here, and all your people are down here. Is there somebody upstairs? You guys left lights on upstairs. She's like, no, we didn't. I'm telling you, yes, you did. There's a disco ball or something going on up there. She's like, no, that's closed off. Everybody's down here. He goes, lady, look, I'm telling you. They took her out in the parking lot. She went, oh, God. We went upstairs. The lights then shut down while we were going upstairs. At that point, we put our ears up against the doors because the doors were locked. And you could hear stuff sliding across the floor, and you could actually hear somebody's tricycle going across the floor. You could hear the squeaking.
That's a couple of the actual historic stories that were going on there.
We thought so. Because I'll tell you, I flew down those stairs so fast, I thought it was amazing. We all flew down there. We're like, we're done. See ya. Bye.
Well, in the ballroom, there's a couple, an entity couple that likes to dance.
Okay.
And when I go up there, whenever I would go up there, I would play the Tennessee Waltz for them.
Aww.
And then afterwards do an EVP session, and I always had strong interaction with them.
Oh, no kidding.
And then off of the ballroom, there's a bar. Back there, the entity back in there, he's not real nice. He's just kind of grumpy. He's pinched people kind of thing. He's not real nice. As far as the bicycle, there is actual report that a woman took her daughter to work with her, and the daughter fell down the back stairs and went to the hospital. Yeah. And I don't believe she made it.
Oh, so my gosh.
That's why she's there.
So that all makes sense.
Yes.
And we got them all.
See, a lot of ghost hunting is history as well. And we get into a lot of history because that's who we're talking to. That's who we're looking for.
I would have never known you putting it all together because you tell the story and people think you're crazy. Or, like I told you earlier, people in our barn, we tell the story. They don't see these people. So do they only reach out to certain people then who maybe have a higher believing level?
I guess it would depend.
Okay.
I mean, because I've had people up there before that were provoking and they got smacked. They deserved it. And then they come back and tell us about, well, what'd you do? Kind of thing. So
they could feel physical.
Yeah. So don't provoke.
Don't provoke them.
Treat ghosts as they were people too.
They were once.
Yes. Treat them with respect.
Now, when you started this was what, in 2008, you said? So you were with a friend. And how did this all come about for you?
She was going up there to volunteer and help, and so she dragged me up there with her. And when we went up, it was Halloween time, and they had a haunted house going on up there. And when I stepped out of the room that we was renting, there was an entity there. It was like a smoky kind of entity there. And then we moved over to the other side of the hotel because it was getting busy, and we stayed right next to Elizabeth's room, in the old wing.
Okay.
And from there was a door that was locked, in between rooms. And I told my husband to leave it alone. My friend showed up, and we were out in the hall talking. We come back in. That door was unlocked. And naturally, I yelled at my husband.
Of course. It only makes sense.
And he swore up and down he never opened it. So we took that as a sign as we were welcome to go in and visit. And I had to apologize to my husband for yelling at him.
Now, Elizabeth, in the story, I believe, did she perish in the fire there?
She is an urban legend.
Okay.
She was supposed to have been a bride that either burned the day of or the day after her wedding, and that she was supposed to have gone looking for her fiancé or husband prior to the wedding. Problem with that story is at the time that the hotel had caught on fire, it was in the off season and nobody was there.
Oh, okay. So there is a problem with that little story there.
But there is an entity there that resonates Elizabeth.
Okay. I always wonder because whether these are fact or fiction or where some of these come from, there's a reason why these stories evolve.
History.
There's something behind.
Yes. All
right. So we have a couple different videos that we want to show and share. Where do you want us to go first?
Let's go to the Kinsman house.
All right. We're going to need the Kinsman house pulled up, Mario. Kinsman. Okay. Notice that we're having a problem with sound. Now, earlier on when I was telling her, email some of the videos to me so we could put them up, she actually had a hard time getting the videos and the laptop to work. So isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Some of the things that you go through
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing some of this paranormal, and people think you're crazy, but it does happen. It does.
It does. It
Now,
does.
we were talking off camera too. You were someplace else, and you said you could smell the faint smell of
the Hinsdale House.
the Hinsdale House.
That is in Hinsdale, New York.
Tell me, for people. I mean, I saw it on your Facebook page, so I kind of knew where you were at, and what you were doing in the pictures and videos you were doing. But to give a little bit of background about this place,
The Hinsdale House, historically, it was a stop for a stagecoach.
Okay.
And the brothers that ran the place there sometimes murdered the people coming through, buried them off on the side of the mountain out there. And then I guess at one point in time they turned on another.
Okay.
And there's numerous children, women, and it's also Native American land.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a lot that goes on at
that location.
Yeah, there is. Early spring, we went out, and as I walked in, we got phantom smells.
Okay.
Phantom smells are smells that will just show up, scents that will show up just out of the blue, and then just disappear just as quick.
Is that like where people, not to take you off the subject, but say somebody says, I smell roses, or I
Yes.
smell carnation, or I
Yes.
smell something?
Mhm.
Okay.
That
Okay.
phantom smell. Well, when we first got in there and was getting settled, it smelled like death, decay. It was rancid. And so I popped off with, that's enough of this. We're here, deal with it, get over it, and knock this off.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, the scent went away.
Wow.
Later that night, while we were doing different sessions here and there, because there was a group of us, different positions, but I was making coffee and had a feeling of somebody staring at me, turn around, and he was standing there. He was wearing jeans and a green shirt. You could see
This
through
apparition.
him. Yeah, his full-bodied apparition, yes. Surprised me. I thanked him for showing up, but he didn't last long, And that particular place, that last time I was there was just a couple weeks ago, and it was just me and another friend of mine. And while we were sleeping, just started to go to sleep 3 o'clock in the morning, we hear something dragging across the floor, picked up and slammed. We get up to go see what it was, and nothing was out of place. And so we told him to knock it off soon, and we'll take care of this in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Now, is there any other, like you guys, I saw you around a fire. Did anything happen like in the woods or anything, or is it known for that as well?
There is known apparitions in the woods. There was claims of native drums beating up there. That I pretty much think was debunked, though, because there's the pine barrens up there, and when the wind goes, it kind of gets rhythmic.
Okay.
So that's a possibility.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's the actual excuse, but that is a possibility.
So you actually go into these different places and you debunk these places.
Yes, because not everything is paranormal.
Right.
And a lot of times people are afraid of pipes rattling. That's what it actually is pipes rattling. So we go in to clarify what is actually going on.
Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. I mean, everything that people are thinking they're seeing or they're hearing, there's maybe there's 8 times out of 10 there's a reason behind what they're hearing, and your mind can play tricks on you.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when it's dark and you're hearing things. And
matrixing is a big thing. I mean, you're looking at something and your mind is trying to make out what you're looking at, so it's going to come up with something, whether it's actual or not. I mean, that's like looking at a piece of wood and you can see a face in there.
Right.
Matrixing.
Okay, so Mario says we're good to go on this. And this video that we're about to play here, explain this one to us, Melanie.
Well, this is, make sure we got the right one, but I was doing a EVP session, and I asked, could you give me your name? We was using a SB7 ghost box.
Okay.
And I asked, can you give me your name? And faintly you hear Olive. And then I come across again and I say, can I have your name so I can address you properly while I'm here? And again, it comes across Olive. And validation, the house was built by Olive's parents.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Okay,
Yeah.
Did not know that. Can you?
Hey, can we liven up this show a little bit? You guys suck up there. As far as the show that you're putting on for us. Oh, Coach, here we go. That's more like it. Take it all off, girlfriend. Are you fucking kidding me? What? The camera died? It just fucking died. Oddly enough, mine's still fucking going. It was a full damn battery. What, did I scare you to death? You must what the fuck? As soon as I said that,
Of course you're gonna say it.
something just come up behind me and grabbed me. I shit you not. Wow.
I was surprised.
It just
I
come up
would
from
be
behind
too.
me and grabbed me. Cool. Now try doing it to me. Come on. All right. Let's do it. Fair enough. I asked for it. Let's go. It come up from behind me.
Is there more to that?
Yes, there is.
But you moving? Okay. Yeah, me too. Yeah, something just grabbed me.
So they were grabby that night.
Mm-hmm. So drained Heather's batteries, grabbed me, and then you should hear the
Oh,
dog
look.
go.
Shadow puppets. It is. What was that?
So are they talking back to you?
These are the girls up on the stage.
Okay.
See, eventually the dog's going to be triggered and it's going to scare Tammy. It'll surprise her. And then I just cracked up.
Yeah.
And they're not being mean.
No. We asked for this stuff.
It's giggles.
So a dog came out?
No, I have a motion censored toy
Okay.
that giggles and rolls around. And I had him setting up on the stage, and evidently this entity had made its way up onto the stage because it was away from everybody else. And the one girl didn't know, and it scared the hell out of her. But this entity triggered it and scared, and when it went off, it shocked her. And then this thing comes back around, and you're listening, and you hear Heather say she just got hit in the head.
Giggles, did she?
That's Heather.
Everything's echoing from up here as well. It's echoing.
And the
I
sound
said
changes.
everything from the stage is echoing back. I have a feeling I'm in somebody's seat because the seat was already open when I sat here. I said I'm thinking I'm in somebody's seat because the seat was already open when I sat here. Yeah.
So you felt that there was somebody sitting
And I'm
there?
still feeling
Are you
something.
serious?
Mhm.
Feeling something.
But I wasn't
here.
going to let him get the best of me, so I sat there.
So he didn't want you to sit down.
Right.
He did not want you to sit down.
Mm-mm. But nobody was hurt. I mean,
Okay.
it's fun. I mean,
Mhm.
really, it was funny. Because when we go into these places, we ask to be touched, we ask to be grabbed, whatever. Let us know. Give us the interaction.
Okay.
So no, none of us were afraid. I mean, we get surprised, and as you see, we crack up over it.
Yes, because it does happen.
Yeah.
They do. Now, Mario, we have a couple other pictures that we might as well put up here, and we can walk and talk through it and get surprised again. But I think the Kinsman house would be an interesting house to go through, knowing that there is history behind this house. It's in Trumbull County. It's in downtown Warren. It's got some history behind it.
Yes, it does.
There's a lot of history in Warren.
In Warren itself, yes.
Especially with the ghost walks and of course, unfortunately, with this COVID-19 or COVID that we're getting through, we can't go into these walks. They've canceled a lot of them. But
that's Kinsman.
That's Kinsman House right there. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm using what's called an SB7 ghost box.
Okay, how about give me your name? You can come over here by me, this thing that I'm holding in my hand, and you can talk in it, and I should be able to hear you. But I would really like to know what your name is, so I can address you properly.
I haven't been able to, and it's all over again. This was down in the basement of the Kinsman house. Oh, and that one, I was at base.
I'm recording it, it's just me and the bass. And I am getting flashlight responses.
So that's in the basement of the Kinsman House.
No, that's at base. We set up a base. When we
Right,
go
right.
to
Yes.
My Mel
location,
is
we
reading
set up a base.
0.1, 59.3 degrees. I'm actually doing a session here and I'm getting responses on the flashlight.
The flashlight was lit.
Can you touch one of these other pieces of equipment and make them do something for me? I just want to be reassured that it's you.
Would that be Olive doing that?
I
I think
can't
she's hanging
tell you
out in
for
here with
sure,
us.
because I can't see who's there, because there is
Sure.
more than one.
Can you turn that
entity in
flashlight
the
back on?
Kinsman house.
Laura and them are heading back down here. I asked her to go pull Laura's hair.
We do that a lot too.
Oh, I got chills.
So are you Olive?
Are back. Everything went dead.
Really? Megan had the same thing happen to her upstairs.
Yeah.
Battery drain.
And I'm down here having a flashlight session.
Are you really?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Everything. This will probably just need another room.
Huh? There she goes. Turn it off.
Oh my gosh.
Who do we have here?
I wonder if that was
Not
Olive
sure.
down there.
I guess yes.
If you're male, light that flashlight up. If you're female, leave it off.
Oh. I've had that. Well, it does, and then I have another one in here with.
Okay, let's try this in the reverse.
I
If you're a
just bought
female,
it
would you
right
light that
from,
flashlight up?
By itself.
If you're a male, leave it off.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I put this on myself.
So we don't know who it was.
Right.
Laura, in
Flashlights.
your review, you're gonna see when you were in the front living room,
Yeah.
you were holding your camera and it went in towards the IR.
which cast a big orb on the ceiling.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. I wasn't sure at first until I watched you do it a couple times and then it come back around.
So that's what it was.
Yeah. And then again, over on mine, when you were up in this room, I think it was the timeline room,
Yeah.
you had a flashlight or something sitting at the end of the table. It was actually casting a shadow or casting a reflection back into the window.
Oh.
So you are debunking some things. So, some things are
Yeah,
lights,
I debunk 'em.
flashlights, or whatever tools that you have out
And
there.
this- Right.
That could be a cast on a wall or a shadow on
Right.
a wall.
Right. It's a matter of controlling the environment
Okay.
to make sure that you know what's going on.
And you do notice maybe different rooms are different temperatures. Like one
Yes.
room will be very cold.
We use thermometers. Well, the equipment that we have, like that Mel meter that's showing there, that will give you an EVP or an EMF, electronic.
It's easy for you to say.
The EMF, electromagnetic field in your
Okay.
area.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go into a room, we will take like a Mel meter in there. We will get a base reading, which will give you the EMF and the temperature.
Okay.
And we go up to outlets to see what's going to trigger it. And then we'll come in, settle into the center of the room where we have a base. So if it's reading a 0.1, then we know that we're at a normal level for the room. But yes, every room is different.
Okay, that's what I wondered. And you find this a lot over at the Kinsman House.
Oh, yeah. Kinsman House is so much fun.
So there's a lot of entities there?
There's 2 that I know of. And
Okay.
they are not harmful. They're more playful. I mean,
Okay.
I would honestly say playful because I've spent time there alone. I mean, over this COVID break, I've been over there working on a couple of rooms.
Tell the floor story.
I was in what we're going to call the child's room because we're supposed to be turning this into a child's room.
Mm-hmm.
I was scraping the floor, and I'm going to town scraping this floor, and in the room, there's 2 doors, and both doors were shut. I had a fan on in the room with me. The rest of the house was closed up. No windows were open. No doors were open. It was just me in this room. Well, I'm sitting there scraping away, and next thing I know, the front door opens, and it's about halfway open, and it stays like that for about 15 minutes, and then it closes all by itself. Mm-hmm. There was another time that when we first started on this floor, Jim, the president of the Heritage Center, he was in there helping me, and he started vacuuming up the biggest mess that we first started with. He stands back because he's proud. We got done, turned it off. The vacuum kicked back on.
All by itself.
All
Nobody
by
touched
itself.
it.
I calmly went over and unplugged it, and it's okay.
Did it freak him out?
Yeah.
I bet it did. Knowing Jim.
But I've seen shadows in the house. I've seen, I want to say full body apparition, but it was in between, I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we do a lot of things community wise at the Heritage Center.
Sure we do.
With the Heritage Center, yeah.
We've done galas and everything out there, so.
So I don't want to scare nobody. I don't want anybody to think it's scary.
It's scary.
Because it's not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't Zach Baggins.
Tell us about him, because you were telling me, you're like, no.
No, we don't run through the house screaming and carrying on and calling everything demonic and everything is attacking us, because that's not what happens. I mean, majority of the time while you're on a ghost hunt, you don't have nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit there and talk to yourself all night and you have nothing happening.
Mm-hmm.
The only time, and then sometimes you'll go back, you review your video or audio, and you'll find something there. But we can't guarantee that anything's ever going to show up like that. It's not how he puts it. It is not. That's Hollywood.
So we're debunking him.
Oh, yeah. And there are quite a few people in the paranormal community themselves that really despise the way he is.
Okay, great. Now, you guys all have your own groups that you guys talk back and
Yes.
forth to, and you...
I've hosted Paracons
Okay,
where I've brought in different teams
okay,
and whatnot, so we can all just get together and compare notes kind of thing, and we talk about different locations that we haven't been to, or
okay.
things that have happened at locations that we've already been to. It's great. Yes, we all get along. And then if I need help, I can call in people from other teams, come on in and help me investigate.
This is amazing. It's just, and it's exciting. And I have to ask, though, are they doing ghost tours for the Kinsman House? Are you
Yes.
guys not? You guys aren't doing
The
that?
Heritage Center isn't isn't part of that. That's my thing.
That's your thing.
That's my thing. I mean, I am a board member there.
Yes,
but that's
yes.
my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do ghost hunts there. I do ghostly gatherings. And ghost hunts, I mean, if you want to ghost hunt there, it's $350.
Okay. And that's an all-night thing?
From 8 to 2.
So from 8 p.m. till 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So grab a group, in other words?
Yes.
Share
up
in
to
the
10
cost?
people.
Okay.
And being that we have, this COVID going on, you're going to have to practice, social distancing, that kind of stuff. But the house is big enough. I mean, it's a 20-room mansion.
And if you hear breathing, it's probably yourself in your mask.
Yeah.
Fogging up your glasses.
And some
it's
digital
you.
recorders will do that too.
I can only imagine. But that would be amazing to go on a go. Now we are going to go do a ghost hunt in this place.
Yes.
We're going to go see, and we'll be on site. We'll take our cameras. We'll do a walkthrough, or a fall down the stairs in my case through.
We have an elevator.
That's good. I'm gonna need it. But do you ever notice that the elevator stops or sticks or does anything paranormal? Because we had sound problems before we started.
Not so much the elevator. I mean, it does have its issues from time to time.
Okay.
I mean, that's just regular
Regular
maintenance.
maintenance. Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, no.
Okay. Now we have, Oreo, we do have some other pictures that you had brought of some different places elsewhere where you were at. Can we pull those up, and then you can give us the inside scoop on some of this as well? What's the one that you had brought that we can
From Waverly, maybe?
Maybe that was the one from Waverly. Poor Mario, I'm making him run all over he's our producer. He's an amazing guy, and I'm making him run all over the place.
Happy to do it.
But tell us, I love you. Tell us a little bit about Waverly, though.
Waverly Hills was a tuberculosis hospital in Kentucky.
Okay.
And it was a campus all of its own. I mean, they had their own laundry service, their own farm, this place is huge.
Okay. It's not an operation now,
No,
though.
no.
Okay.
It was originally put together back in the early 1900s because of the plague back then.
Okay.
Tuberculosis.
Okay.
And a lot of people died there. I mean, it was bad. And they even have what they call now today a body chute.
What?
A body chute that
body
comes
chute.
off from the side and it goes straight down under the mountain to take people out. I mean, they had that many deaths. 147 steps on that thing.
You counted them?
My husband did.
Go figure.
He walked all the way down.
147 steps.
It was for, I guess originally when it was built, that body chute was for supplies to get up into the hospital kind of area.
Okay.
But then with everybody dying of tuberculosis so heavily that they started to remove bodies and taking them out that way so that everybody else didn't see them. But some of the stories there were just horrific. I mean, there was a nurse that got pregnant and hung herself on the top floor. There was a gentleman that hangs out on the first floor who doesn't like women.
Oh.
I mean, it was just all kinds of things.
This picture is probably that gentleman that did not like women.
Right.
Are we right in that? Okay, so
if you look by the light, and next to that little, or not little, but that basket kind of thing.
Okay.
There is a shadow figure standing there. And
I see it.
I was with my husband on this one, and we walked through there and into the main room, and we was trying to talk with him. We had a little bit of a flashlight session going and a little bit of talking, but he really
did not like females.
No. It's to the point where I don't think he even wanted to talk to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he poke you or push you or shove you or anything like that?
My husband actually up on the 3rd floor.
Uh-huh.
We were on the outside walkway because they would take all the patients and put them out in the fresh air. And so there's a big balcony to walk through. Well, we were walking down there. As you're walking, you could feel like people staring at you. My husband literally seen little lights dancing around up there. Couldn't explain it.
And he's not a ghost hunter, or is he?
He is, but he isn't. He's a big skeptic.
Okay.
Or at least he was.
But he saw this for himself.
Yes. And he couldn't explain it. And because where we were at in Kentucky, I mean, it's isolated. You didn't have traffic to be out there to cause any other lights or any of that. Because you look for all these kind of things when you see something.
Right.
There was nothing there. And then I guess a couple months later on TV, same thing was found. So it validated him. He felt happy about that.
It Did validate. Okay. Okay. Now, do you ever go into some of these other places? And you've been through so many.
I
You've been
have.
through so many places, and it would take us more, and that's why we're doing session 1, session 2, session 3, because there's so many places that you have been to, and so many exciting things that have happened to you at these places, and just to even put them on the map is amazing.
Right.
I love the history behind the Kinsman House. That in itself, and I can't wait to go through there because I'm sure we'll meet Olive. She'll show her parents built the house
For her as a wedding present.
and this
Frederick.
was what year?
1832.
1832. Okay, I was going to say 1736, but it's 1832. So that in itself is a bunch of history for Warren, but getting away from Warren, and like you were in New York, you were in Kentucky. What other places have you?
West Virginia.
What
Indiana.
are,
Pennsylvania.
what are some of the places out there that maybe people are looking for something to do and somewhere to go?
Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was a blast.
Oh, boy. Okay.
My daughter's seen her first full-bodied apparition there. And she had all the equipment in her hand, but it was all packed up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, she was beside herself. That was an amazing place. That's another one that was just so big. I mean, we were there for 8 hours and we barely covered it, really.
Really?
Yeah.
And you had a lot reach out to you.
There it was, we were trying to find the creeper. Because they always, yes, a lot of these places have claims of creepers.
Okay.
I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
And I've called them out. I think the worst one was in Indiana when we went to, what's the name of that place? I can't think of it now. I've been to a lot of places.
Yes, you have.
But over in Indiana, we was down in the basement, and I was calling for the creeper. Here, creeper, creeper kind of thing, just to get it to come out. And the closest I come to a creeper was a spider.
Oh, nice.
And it was about that big, and it come out after me. So I told my husband that he better kill it or I'm shooting.
So that was the creeper
Yeah.
for that event.
Yeah. So a lot of buildings, they claim to have creeper.
They don't.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
I've never encountered one. I've done everything I could to try and get one to come out at me. Doesn't happen.
Okay. Okay. We have other pictures as well, Mario. We have a couple other ones that we were going to show. I believe there's 1 or 2 more.
Let's see what else we got.
What are the other places in Trumbull County that you've heard of that are haunted?
Trumbull County?
I talked. Should I tell my story about my poor soldier?
Sure.
Oh,
In Trumbull County.
in Trumbull County.
Cortland Opera House.
Yes, that is another one that I've been in there, and you can just feel it when you walk through the door.
We had so much fun there. I mean, the first time I investigated, I was there a couple times. First time I investigated there, we were all downstairs.
Okay.
And my husband, he likes to roam off.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard footsteps upstairs, and we thought that was my husband. So I go up there to try to catch him in action. He's not in there. So I go and sit down on the stage, and we had a motion sensor sitting in the middle of the floor. While I'm sitting there on the stage, I'm watching the motion sensor kick on and the motion sensor kick off. Nobody else is up there with me. And I'm behind it, so it's not catching me.
Oh, my God. And you couldn't tell if it was a child or if it was an adult.
But they told us originally that it was owned by the Klein family.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law wanted to go.
Hi, Gio.
So we take her. And I told the entities that she was part of the Klein family and used her as my guinea pig. She got touched a couple times that night.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And this next clip, I can get you ready for it.
Okay.
It's at Madison Seminary.
Madison Seminary? Okay.
And that's up north, about an hour north from us.
Okay.
This is me and my daughter in this one. Madison was an awesome place as well. We are getting all kinds of big hits, and again, there's no reason for it.
A 0.5 all the way across on the K2.
That's big.
Okay, can you slow down on that K2 meter for a minute? Step back a minute. Let it go down to
Nothing. Basically down to the one light. Can you do that for me? Just step back and one light on there only? Because I'd like to use that to talk to you. Hi, Brittany.
I was doing a live.
Thanks, everybody, for coming on. Right now, I'm getting some crazy K2 hits. I'm reading a 0.5. Now I'm down to a 0.4.
Your EDI on?
No, EDI isn't on yet. Trying to get this K2 to calm down a minute so we can use it for communication.
This was the Civil War wing. Have you check out the stuff?
That's what we had going crazy in our barn like that.
K2 meter.
It
yes.
was all the way across,
Yeah.
so we know there's an
I know
entity.
you're calming down a little bit.
And that's another one of the pieces of equipment that you go around and try to see what's going on in the room before you have that going on.
Yep.
That's just to show that
For
we get
recording
interaction
purposes,
with
this is
the
me making all
equipment.
kinds of noise.
Yeah, you're
So where was this location?
Madison Seminary,
Which is
Madison, Ohio.
Madison, Ohio.
Mhm.
I've never heard of the seminary out there. And
Adam
I'm up
Kimmel,
on my haunted stuff.
Adam Kimmel purchased that a few years ago, and he has put so much work into that. That's
Okay.
another thing with ghost hunting is you get people who purchase these old beat-up buildings, ghost hunt them out when there's activity going on, and that money pays to put the building back together.
So support them.
Yes.
Support them.
hmm
Now there's
Hillview Manor is another. They do a lot of work out there too.
okay. There's a jail, and it's up in Ohio.
Licking County.
You were talking about that
Yeah,
one,
that's fun
but
too.
there's another one too. But if you want to go ahead and share some stories on that, that's your favorite place, you said.
Licking
think.
County was a lot of fun.
Sure it was. They're all a lot of fun.
They all are, really. I mean, each place has its own little story or whatnot. Licking County, we went up there, and I met Jeff Fent up there for the first time. He makes ghost boxes. He makes the geobox.
Okay.
Well, he brought out his geobox, and we was doing a session there. I had my husband walking the catwalk with his mag light clinging on the bars, like the cops would, telling everybody lights out. Right across the ghost box, it said, "Okay, good night." Plain as day. When you use a ghost box versus a geo box, the sounds are so much different and clearer.
Okay.
All right, and I finally got a ghost box or a geo box of my own.
Good for you. So now you can take these onto some of these hunts, and
Yes, but mine's a mystery machine.
I saw it
Yeah,
actually.
love that
Yes,
thing.
the Scooby Doo. I love it. It's cute. It's cute. So I can't wait to take that. Have you taken to Kinsman yet?
Oh yeah, Jeff delivered it to me there to show me how to use it. And, oh yeah, it started off right away.
No kidding. So if we were to put this hunt together, and we'll reach out to some of the Facebook people that are watching us right now, we'll figure out a day, maybe this coming week, that we'll go out there. We were thinking maybe Wednesday might be one of the good days to go out there with your team and see what we can find out there. But we can take guests out there with us as well. Is that correct? If they want to jump on board and come out with us with the show.
There's not too many.
Yeah,
Too
no.
many.
We'll keep it under 10.
Okay, and then we can show you all the equipment, how it works, the DVR systems and all that. Yeah.
So we'll go out there, and then we'll play it back on the show, and we'll see where we're at. It's exciting. It's not so much scary if you're not afraid of them, and there's
Right.
really
There's no reason to be afraid. I have been doing this for so long. I haven't gotten hurt.
okay.
I've been surprised. I've been grabbed. I've had my hair pulled. But this is stuff that we ask for. I've even spent the night.
How did you get a full night's sleep in some of these
Oh,
places?
I sleep like a baby.
Oh my!
I got a big air mattress, and oh yeah, sleep like a baby.
And
No
nothing ever
problem.
happens in the middle of the
No.
night. Nothing.
Oh, you'll hear things. I mean, you'll hear things running up and down the halls or slamming around, like at the Hinsdale last time I was there. But it doesn't scare me. I mean, we expect that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But nobody and everybody that I've been with, and a lot of people in the community, we don't get hurt. We don't get possessed.
Okay.
We're out to find the truth.
So if somebody feels that they have an entity in their home, okay, what should they do and what shouldn't they do?
Do not provoke.
Okay.
Making them mad is not going to get anything accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
If you are afraid, call somebody, call a paranormal team, something like of that nature that can come out and assess what you're doing.
Okay.
If you have something that you want removed, most paranormal teams, if they don't do it themselves, they know somebody that can.
Okay.
All
That
right,
was
and-
my next question. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of this if it's in your house?
I know demonologists. I know Wiccan high priestess. I know a lot of people out in the field that will go out and help the entities move on. It's not so much banishing them or being mean. It's helping them cross.
Right. And a lot of these ghosts are stuck. They can't
Yeah.
move on to the next.
There's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always some kind of reason. Kinsman House, I believe Olive is there because she wants to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she lost 3 babies there.
Okay.
So she that's her house.
I will tell you, and I told you off camera that I had an experience in my house. I actually had a Halloween party, and this was probably, oh God, every bit of 15, 20 years ago. Okay, so I'm not going to show my age, but yes, this was a while back. I had a scavenger hunt. People to this day still talk about the scavenger hunt because it was interesting. But one of the stops that they had to make in the scavenger hunt was the Red Cross in downtown Warren on Mahoning Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the Red Cross is a cemetery from
Pioneer.
the Pioneer Cemetery from, I think they're
1800s?
1800s or something like that. So when I was going out and I was putting the scavenger hunt together, and you do the mileage, go 0.7 tenths, whatever, and then when you get out of the car, walk 20 feet, go to the left, and what's the first gravestone you see. You had to write all that down.
Right.
Well, while I was there putting this together, I had a ghost attached to me. Believe it or not, I know that sounds crazy, but no, I did. And I came home. And after a couple days, I would hear walking going on because I have a Cape Cod. So I would hear walking going on upstairs. And I knew it wasn't a cat. It wasn't the dog because, they're down there with me. Couldn't figure it out. And after a while, you would hear the walking going down the steps.
Yes.
And not only would I hear the walking, but I could hear something else hitting the step as well, along with a footprint or a footstep. And when I would know that the walking would stop, I had wrought iron candles that were on my fireplace. They were in stands. They would stand straight normally, but when he was around or she was around at that point, they would start swaying back and forth. So, and the candle flickering, the light, it would go up real high. So I knew at that point, okay, something's going on here, something. Right. And like you had said, they were making their presence known, not to scare me.
Yeah.
So I had a psychic medium come into my home, and I said, I think there's something here. Can we identify this? Can you help me with this? She was able to visualize him. It was a him. He was a soldier from the war. She was even able to see the black coat that he had with the brass buttons and that extra thing that was hitting the step along with his footstep. He was wounded in the war, and they shot out his leg. So he had a cane to help him. And he was one of the soldiers that was stuck, couldn't cross over. And I was like, oh, I live by myself. It's kind of fun to have around. It was company. And I'm like, he doesn't have to go. He can stay. And she's like, no, he needs to cross over. He's got family. He's got, friends. He needs to cross. And I'm like, really? Because it's kind of fun having him there, in all honesty. She's like, no, he has to go. He has to go. So she helped him cross over. We had to tell him, you have to move on. You've got to go towards the light. You've got to move on.
One note I would like to make is if you are using a psychic, make sure you're using a good psychic.
Okay.
Don't put up with somebody feeding you fear.
Okay.
Do not put up with that at all, because that is not a real psychic. That is somebody who's trying to suck you for money.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, a real psychic will be there, empathetic, trying to hear what's going on and see what's going on, not immediately telling you, well, you're going to have to pay so much money for me to do a spell to get this out of here. That's nonsense.
Okay.
Don't fall for it.
So good advice there. All right.
I know plenty of psychics. I mean, if anybody needs help, call me, get a hold of me somehow. I will help you out.
Right.
Not a problem. And I will get you in touch with good psychics if that's what you need. I will get you in touch with, or I'll come out myself.
Okay. All right. Melanie, it has been amazing having you here. And again, we're going to have you here next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have more stories to share. Hopefully, we will have everything edited down from the Kinsman House
Right.
in time. So it's going to be exciting to see what we're going to find. But I can't wait to have you out here next week. This is going to be
Awesome.
exciting, and we're going to have more videos and more things for you to expand on. And like I've told you guys, this is segment 1 of 2 more segments coming out because this is exciting. And we're getting close to the Halloween time, so I think a lot of people are
The veil is thinning, and you're going to have a lot more activity going on.
Exactly. A lot more activity. So we're going to get a lot more activity out of you as well, and probably out of the Kinsman House. So that's going to be exciting. And again, if you want to jump on the tour with us, we're only going to take maybe 10 people. We'll leave it at 10 because that's probably a safe number, especially with COVID. You must bring a mask, but contact myself on Facebook, contact Youngstown Studio, or they can even, Melanie Vincent, they can find you on Facebook as well. And then, you know, you'll go on tour with us. And I don't know that we're probably going to stay till 2 in the morning, but when is the most activity that you notice happen throughout a course of a hunt?
I can't say that it's an actual time.
Okay.
I mean, because we have sporadic things going on.
Okay.
I mean, I was telling you about Giggles earlier, my motion sensor dog that rolls back and forth. We put him in one room, and he'll go off periodically.
Okay. Okay.
In the timeline room, people have been touched in there. In Frederick's room, the master bedroom, we've heard footsteps. I mean, there's just different places, different things go on. I mean, and there's no during
rhyme
the
or
day.
reason.
Yeah, during the day, I've had things going on.
Okay.
Doors opening, you know, things like that. Hearing, talking, and nobody else there.
So it's not odd to hear somebody laughing and going, hello, hello,
No,
because that
it's
happens
not.
in our barn.
It's not.
Okay.
I mean, and there's been times that, I mean, we're located right there at Perkins Park, so there are people around there.
Okay.
And when I start hearing the noises, I go looking.
Exactly.
And to see who's here, because I don't want somebody in the house if I'm there. You know.
Right.
So I go looking.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go looking, and we're going to go see what we can find at the Kinsman's house. So thank you again, Melanie, for coming to the studio today. We've got more to cover by all means. Join me this Tuesday again as Melanie's going to come into the studio. She's going to be right here, and we're going to have more video, and it's going to be exciting. So I'm Justine Thomas. Thanks for watching or listening. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. We're going to see you next Tuesday. Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about us. Thank you.